Hi guys, this is Vidas.
And Usha.
Let's start episode 219 of Ask Vidas and Osha podcast. This question was sent by Russell and he writes, Greetings Vidas. I found your course while searching for guidance as how to educate myself in music theory. I have a piano and an old Hammond organ, but I am not a musician. I read music but only with difficulty. I desire to learn music theory because I do not understand many things about music. Most importantly, would a given piece of music have the same feel if transposed to a different key? For example, why did Bach choose D minor for the Toccata Fugue BWV 565 and C minor for the Passacaglia Fugue BWV 582? Would music written all in the same key be boring or tiresome? Or does the key, other than major or minor, enhance the effect of a particular piece of music? It seems to me that, for me, a good starting point would be to practice and memorize scales and chords. I love classical organ, but I wonder how an organist manages to keep track of multiple voices, such as in a fugue. I wonder whether some brains are wired with this capability and others are incapable of playing polyphonic music. By the way, are organists typically ambidextrous? At age 70, I do not expect ever to become proficient on the organ, but I do find your instruction enlightening and welcome. Russell. Osha, this is a nice account of Russell's experience. Because at this age, when he is 70 years old, and still is interested in music theory, it's a great gift.
Yes, and I appreciate this question because some even professional musicians, we, play for like 20, 30 years and we never raise themselves similar questions. So this is, I think, a very nice example of how people can, think.
Obviously, if pieces are written in different keys, there is a reason for that.
Sure. And just like a couple days ago, Vidas and I gave a lecture at our School of Art about temperations, historical temperaments. Yes, historical temperaments. And that's why I think originally musical compositions were written in different keys. So because each key had a different meaning, because each key sounded different at that time. Because before the beginning of 20th century, the A of the first octave wasn't tuned in 440 hertz.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be higher, it could be lower, and the half steps wouldn't be equal. And we have many historical temperaments. And in Bach time, for example, there were like Kirnberger 2, Kirnberger 3, and Werkmeister and Rameau and all those several temperament systems. So, and it makes sense why, Bach wrote his compositions in different keys, because each of his key had its own unique character.
And symbolism too.
Yes, that's right.
So the difference between D minor and C minor was very apparent in those days. Not so much in our time if you play on a modern tuned instrument.
True, because D minor was more, more common key at that time, and it sounded more like a regular, D minor key, especially because most of Baroque music still had like D minor sort of Dorian feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It often had, raised 6 scale degree, not B flat but B natural, as in a Dorian mode.
Mm-hmm.
But for example, C minor, it has more accidentals, so it sounded more dramatic.
Yes, the more accidentals you have, the more colorful the sound. sometimes dramatic if it's a minor key, and sometimes I think more joyful if it's a major key.
True. Like for example, E flat major, that's a very, very joyful character.
Or A major.
Yes. A major was suited more for like pastoral scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And E flat major was considered because it has, look, it had three accidentals and it was, connected with the Holy Trinity. So this is the whole, different world beneath those keys.
It's connected with musical rhetoric and musical affects theory. Russell is, of course, on track here, thinking that it shouldn't sound the same when transposed to a different key. And he wants, of course, to learn more about music theory. And Russell suggests he would practice memorizing scales and chords. That's one of the first probably steps, Osha, right?
Yes, I think it would be helpful.
Not only it will improve his own technique, but his own knowledge of other keys and system of circle of fifths. Things like that will help him understand how pieces are put together. He should not stop here though, even if it's a slow practice, but I think in not too distant future he will be able to expand his knowledge into, let's say, cadences, modulations.
That's right.
Things like that. And then the last part of his question is really intriguing. Russell asks whether some brains are wired for understanding and playing polyphonic music and others not.
I think maybe for some people it's easier than for others, but I think for everybody it's quite hard and it needs some special training and it needs time.
But for some people it's easier than for others.
That's true.
Who can coordinate and do two things at once?
Well, and he asked about, if the organists are typically ambidextrous. That's a very nice question. Actually, about that people can be ambidextrous, I found out myself maybe 10 years ago only. Before that, I thought that we all are either right-handed or left-handed. But, I am right-handed, and so is Vidas.
I'm even right-footed.
I don't know about that, but for myself, yes, I'm right-handed. But since, I play starting from the age of 5, in time, over the years, I think I improved my left hand enough.
Mm-hmm.
For example, in the summertime, sometimes I go, to the forest to pick up some berries. For example, lingonberries or blueberries. And I can do that equally well with both hands. And like other members of my family, are wondering how I can do that so well. And I think it's part because, I play the instruments all my life.
Mm-hmm.
Organ, piano, so.
I also eat berries with both my hands.
But I'm telling you about picking them.
Oh no, it's I prefer eating to picking.
I know that. So that's why I have to pick berries with my both hands so you could have plenty of them to eat.
Yes, big stomach. And then, of course, we have to think about if some people develop this ability faster than others. What about, Osha, your parents? Can they use both hands equally well or not?
Well, probably not.
Not so much.
Not so much, yes. And I think it's important because I know that one part of the brain is responsible for like math and science and another one is more like responsible for like arts
Mm-hmm.
and probably languages.
Creative stuff.
Yes. So, and it's important that if you are right-handed, that you would work more on your left side of the brain, and vice versa. So
To compensate.
yes.
Mm.
So I think for right-handed, it's a good way to probably learn arts.
But actually,
not.
Osha, you're sort of you have to add because it's mixed connection. Right side of the brain controls left side of the body
Yes.
mostly in motoric skills, and vice versa. Right side of the brain controls left hand, for
That's right.
example, more. So what does it mean? I think you have to do both things at the same time. Sometimes improve both hands, to coordinate both hands. It's wise to develop these skills, especially in organ music, because we have so many melodies moving independently at the same time.
That's true, and that's I think it's so well to play the organ. It's so beneficial to play the organ because it keeps your brain in a good shape.
Yes, and if Russell is 70 years old, he will find out for himself very soon that practicing actually organ music and analyzing organ music is even better than solving Sudoku puzzles or crosswords from developing, I don't know, Alzheimer's, prevent such diseases too. It's like always engaging your brain, always exercising your brain when you play the organ.
True.
Wonderful. Thank you guys for listening to us and for applying our tips in your practice. We hope this has been helpful to you, and we also hope to receive more of your questions to help you grow further. This was Vidas.
And Osha,
And remember, when you practice and share your art,
miracles happen.